Oh, I got the wrong
Hi
one.
guys. Today we're coming back on because as you noticed Sunday we did half a build of a 5-inch. Was it an Armatron?
No,
Paul?
Aurora 5X from Space One.
An Aurora 5X. I am so wrong. Hey Penguin. So we are going to finish that build today. So I have Lewis P. Floyd in the wings. I have the Canadian Drone Network in the wings, and we're going to get started on a great finish of a build. And Manic Magic, how you doing, darling? Cordosa Media was in here earlier. They may still be here. Paul Murray, thank you. And Jamaica Girl 123. Hey guys. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to let Roger say hi to everyone.
Hey,
My day's
everyone.
been eventful. Let's just leave it at that for right now. And I'm going to let Roger say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Roger said hi, everyone. I said hi, everyone.
And I said that wrong. I didn't mean I'm going to let you. I just was going to present you. It didn't make more sense.
Well, he did his job.
Okay, so without further ado, the magnificent Lewis P. Floyd.
Yeah, magnificent. Thank you, Val.
You're welcome.
All right. So where we left off last time, party people, was I pretty much put everything together, got it all fitted up, and then I had to go away.
Fish or chicken.
So what we have here is, let me take this bits apart. We've got the flight controller all squared away, which is this right here. We tinned everything that we needed to tin. We put the pigtail on. And we have underneath here the 4-in-1 ESCs. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie these together. All right. So what I did was I put the motors on. This was from a Frankenstein build from another quad. So I stole these motors. The motor wires were a little bit short, so I lengthened them by putting some more wire on. And I just zip tied them down to the arms of the quad. Now I have got everything squared away where I think I got everything cut to length, and I'm going to start to put them onto the ESCs. Now, and I have, let me see, oh boy, got a nice piece of wire stuck on this stuff. There we go. All right. Val, do you have any questions?
No, it's a lot of red wires. Are all those wires just because of the motor?
So I was just being a knucklehead, and usually the wires come in black. But I decided to do it. I decided to do it all in red. Just because I thought it looked cool. But usually they're usually all in black, which indicates a negative wire. Red indicates positive wire. But with these ESCs and going from the motors, positive and negative doesn't make any difference with this because they're in a phase. And what that means is when they're in a phase, you can take two of the wires and switch it, and that will create the spin to reverse. So if you have a phased motor like these brushed or brushless motors that are run by magnets, you can flip the phase. So that's kind of important for you to know that, because if you do not have ESCs that you can go into and affect it software wise to correct the spin of your motor, then you would have to physically correct the spin of the motor by switching the two motor wires. That's the big difference. Well, one of the big differences between the brushed motors and the brushless motors. Brushless motors are run by magnets. Brushed motors are run by a brush inside with another little like a little brushed hair that, or, you know, wire that holds up against that to create the connection to spin the motor. So that was one of the conversations. I forget who we had it with, but somebody was trying to put 3 wires onto a tiny whoop. So a tiny whoop tiny whoops only take brushed motors, unless they're, you know, unless you make them a brushless motor, which, you know, you can do that, but the flight controller is different. So that receives either 2 wires or 3 wires, depending on your flight controller. So that's where that conversation kind of went to, and I hope I had made myself clear on that. All right. Continuing on, let's start soldering these bad boys down. I'm going to start with, actually, my front motors, I believe. Let me see here. And with that front motors, I'm going to need to be careful that I put this in. All right, so my problem is I'm going to have a standoff that's going to come up through here to hold everything up. So I'm going to divert one of the wires in between my standoff. So my first wire of my motor wire is going to go right there in between. And then I'm going to fit these other guys around it. So let me do that. And you guys can say hi and talk to the chat, because I'm going to be busy for a moment here.
Okay. Hey, 4x4, how you doing, darling? I'm so happy to see you in here. Hey, Bill Pastor, we want a maiden flight tonight.
Oh, I'm planning on giving you guys a maiden flight. I'm planning on it.
Joseph Erickson, how you doing, Cardosa? We have Canadian Drone Network in the house. We have Purple, Kim, and Roger both sitting in. Let us see. Yeah, the day was okay today, Cardosa. Thank you for asking.
Right, 4. How you doing, Cadorsa? Night Train.
Night Train.
Joseph Erickson. Hi. Magic. Yes, everybody, hit that like button.
Thank you. Hey, Furball.
Hi.
How you doing?
Okay.
Kim, did you take care of that dog this morning?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Did Roger buy you kibble too, or did
No, we got the kibble as well.
Yeah, got a big bag of kibbles.
What was wrong with Roxy?
Oh, she was buggering Kim to go outdoors.
Hungry.
And hungry, yeah.
You guys are very good to her.
I forgot to buy her kibbles yesterday, and she let us know about it.
Well, she's before that.
Yeah.
Cardosa, you hit 2,500 this afternoon.
Congrats. Yes, sir.
Cool.
Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm so happy for you. Very good. Very good.
I'm 4x4.
4x4.
There. So 4x4. There they are. 2 amigos.
So, Val.
Yeah.
How many emails do you think I got now?
How many what?
Emails. Just today.
Oh, just today?
Yeah.
250.
Close. 256.
256? I was close? That's crazy. That is, you can't do that.
And the day's not over yet.
Roger, I don't think you can do that many.
No. No way I can do all of them.
I have to go 250 Cardosa. Thanks, guys. Wasn't expecting it today.
Hey,
yeah.
Wolf.
No. Hey, Wolf. How you doing? We're finishing that 5-inch build today, Wolf.
I know what you mean, good herself, yeah. Hey, Wolf. Glad to see you. Wolf wants to know exactly what you're building today.
I am building a 5-inch racing quad that I'm going to beat the heck out of.
Hey, Gerald Farms, how you doing?
He is just now working on some. So I'm just going to say if each video were only 5 minutes, let's see, that equals 1,250 minutes. Go ahead and divide that by 60. It's only 20 hours, Roger. You can do it.
Yeah, right.
Unless I figured it out wrong. See, and I'm not sure if everyone understands when you're running a hub like you are, right? Where you're bringing everyone in together so they can grow and things can go the way they need to go. To watch 20 hours a day of video, it's just not going to happen. It's just not. So I'm sorry, guys. We watch where we can. Oh, Nordic Blue, there you are. Thank you.
Wolf is asking what specs. What are the specs? Val, can you present Lewis to show what he's doing?
Yeah, I was. You have something else. He is actually, I've been presented working on his quad right now.
All right. So the specs are, it's a 5-inch quad. I have 35 amp ESCs, 4 and 1 that I'm working on right now. The motors are Emax RS, the sport type, and it's 2205 kV. I've got a CL Racing flight controller. Going to be putting in the Lumineer 25, 200, and 500 milliwatt VTX. And I'm going to be using the pared down version of the XR4 from FR Sky.
Nice.
And it's going to go in S-Bus protocol. And then I'm going to steal this FPV camera out of this pod. It's a CADX camera in there, snuck in there, to use for my FPV. I think them's are all the specs.
Thank you, Nordic Blue. That is how you do it. You have to put the @ sign, start to type their name. It should come on if you're on a computer up above. You hit on that, and then it'll show up in red. To just them, not to anyone else. What is the frame?
The frame is a 5-inch Aurora Special Edition.
Oh, if you're on your phone, put the @ sign, type their name in completely, and it should still come up in red for them, but you won't see it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
All right, I got, after this one more ESC to put in. Or to plug into. I'm hoping I'm not hitting anything together. Looks good. Also, if I don't break this in the maiden flight and break it before I have a really chance to fly it, I'm going to probably disassemble this and put conformal coating all over, throughout the whole build so that I can fly it in wintertime.
Oh, nice.
I live in upstate New York, and that kind of happens here, that snow stuff.
Thank you, Chris.
But when we can, we send it to Roger and Kim.
So Kim, are you putting conformal on all of your stuff you're building right now?
You mean on Paul?
Huh? I'm talking to you.
Oh, well, I'm not building anything.
You're modding those quads. Do you put it on when you mod?
Well, are you talking about those whoops there?
Uh-huh.
No. They're indoors anyways.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Joe, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Drone, I just gave you a mod, okay? So you can go.
Hey, Drone.
One is the floss
I
B2
picked
one
the
frame.
Monique.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, the floss. That's a great frame. A lot of racers use that.
Oh, you know what, E-Drone? I've never taken your mod away. I just noticed when you wrote in there you didn't have one, so I gave it to you. So no worries.
Oh yeah, I didn't have one. I just saw that too.
Right?
Yeah.
It may be that he's not been on my live stream, but he's been on yours, Roger.
Well, yeah.
It might be E-Drone. That may be why.
Yeah.
All right, so here's something for the kids to talk about. And I shouldn't have I should have wicked this off. And I saw somewhere somebody mentioned this to you, Val, about wick.
Yeah.
Wick is stuff that will pull solder off of boards. Now, here's my problem. I was surprised that this ESC, this 4-in-1, I bought 3 of them. They're the SpeedX ESC 4-in-1s. I bought 3 of them, and the first 2 came. Everything was untinned. There was no solder on any of the pads that I needed to solder to. I put my own solder onto it. Well, this one came with solder already applied. And I'm having a hell of a time getting it to flow. So my suggestion to a lot of people that have components that come in with solder already on it from the factory, take the solder off, use your own solder. Because it's so industrially put on that I don't know, it just doesn't flow as well. Yeah. What the heck?
It takes a lot of heat also to heat it up.
Yeah, and it just doesn't act right, you know?
Yeah, probably because it uses some kind of different kind of solder that takes more heat.
Right.
Because the machine is faster.
Exactly. Yep. You're exactly right, Kim.
Nice.
E-Drone says he just got my freestyle build done last night. I flew in my garage and I can't wait to fly FPV with her. Nordic Blue says another good thing to have with the conformal coating is a UV light to ensure you have good coating.
I would have never thought of that.
And E-Drone says I built up the one I had lost and upgraded a couple components. I will have a video out soon for it, but it was my first build off camera.
No problem. I'll check it out when it shows.
Yeah, the Nordic, I think it was Nordic. Yeah, the UV lighting. So what happens is when you put conformal coating on electronics, you can see it if you're in like super, super bright daylight. It looks purple. So the UV lighting that he's talking about will allow you to, see any spots that you missed.
Nice. So is it different than like the solder I bought has lead in it? And I hadn't thought about that. And Nordic Blue is saying most likely lead-free solder is what it had. So does solder with lead in it have a better flow? Hi, Dorma.
Yes.
Hi, Ed.
It does.
Drone family. E-Drone. And Wolf, I saw the ass thing.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure if we were getting racy in this ass. Yeah. I'm seeing if I can.
6337, yeah.
Okay. Just really quick. This is the kind I got. I don't know if you can see it, but it does have lead. So it's a resin core. Let me go back to Paul. Lead-free sucks spouse life. Yeah, I think yes, always use with lead. Okay, woohoo, lead solder with silver. Okay. That's a good one. Oh, thank you, Nordic Blue. The solder with lead has better flow and it works better than lead-free solder.
Well, not my greatest work because this solder was difficult, but I think I got it.
Off Amazon ad. Yeah, it has rosin core. Okay, Adrian says I've tried cheap solder from China and had not tiny joints and not good flow.
Yeah, the cheap solder will look dull.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, this is from China, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But I figured because it's going to take me a while to learn how to solder, I thought might as well use this stuff. Rosin core is good. I have the same thing. Oh, nice. Lead is kind of bad for you. Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah. Hiya, Eric. Yes, a good solder joint is shiny. Cloudy equals cold solder joint.
Oh,
Yep.
hey, Marcus,
And
how you doing?
these things are giving me a cold solder joint. I should have taken it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes a lot to heat it up.
Yeah, and it's just not flowing. So what I'm gonna do, see if I can trick it here. So I'm just gonna apply my own solder, reapply it to the pads that already have that crappy solder on it, and see if I can get it to flow a little bit better.
Yeah, well, if I think about $8, I think that's what I paid for it. Also, have a tube of flux on hand as well. Where's
Yep.
my? This is what I got, guys. That's what I'm gonna use. Yeah, I did a whole unboxing of everything I got, and then I messed it up. But I have this little pad. I know you probably can't see it, but it's a brass thing.
Yeah.
Clean it.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't think you're allowed to say yep like that. I think it's only Canadians.
She's sticking?
Yeah, but now my problem is I want to make sure that I have not touched anything together in my haste to try and get these to work. So I'm just popping them off and reattaching them so that I am sure I do not have anything touching them. Because I don't have a smoke stopper.
My tips got destroyed. Okay, so they sent me this sponge, guys. They sent me this little square sponge. I'm sure when I wet, it becomes like and grows.
Oh, they're really stingy, aren't they?
They wanted to make sure I didn't get too much. And so this is what I'm going to be using.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they are stingy. I was like, what the heck?
Hey, I think I'm done with this. It's took me too long. But
stopper.
I am done with it. And either I'm going to complete the build tonight or it's going to stop me right now because I'm going to get this ready to be plugged in because I want to hear it go beep, beep, beep.
Okay.
I'm hoping. But before I do that, I've got 2 more connections to make. So the connections that I got to make right now will power the ESC. So I'm taking the power from a 4-in-1 ESC and I'm going to bring it up to one of the ESC pads on my flight controller. And that's how I'm going to power the whole thing. So let me get these guys cut to length and turn them.
Hey, 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 Crazy. How you doing? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
There we go.
I see Crazy's in the house. He's under the name of Crazy Z Gaming. Oh yeah.
Hey, so Roger and Kim, you guys have been working pretty hard getting some new people to come in. That's a good job.
Hey,
Doing our best. Doing our best.
Edron says check with multimeter for continuity.
Continuality.
Yep. Continuity. You know what? I live dangerous, people. I live real dangerous.
Uh-oh.
I'm not doing that. Well, I'm going to give you a show one way or another.
Edron.
Wolf says, can't you just use the 4-inch one port to power your FC 4-in-1?
Yes, I can. It's a 4-in-1. I can, but I would have to do some crazy reconfiguring because I've got a 6-port that comes out of my 4-in-1 that is supposed to go into a 5-port. So what would happen is I would have to split some energy from one spot to another, and I'm not really sure how to do that with confidence. So I'm just going to kind of cheat it. And if this were a long range quad, I would do that. But this is just going to be kicked around, like a football field length. So, I'm not going to get too crazy with it.
So Love My Drone said, when I went to electronics school longer ago than I care to admit, we were taught to use rosin core solder. No flux, as a rosin was the flux.
Correct.
640 lead in silver. I'm sure things have progressed. Yeah, Truck Lady, hi. Little Dumpling? Where's Little Dumpling? Hey, Little Dumpling, how you doing? Hey, Truck Lady.
Crazy Z Gaming. How you doing, Eric? Truck Lady, Little Dumpling. Love My Drones.
Well, we got a lot of people in here.
Yeah, we have a great amount of great people. A lot of people who built. Yeah, I don't know why, Ed. I just got it with some flux still in it in the center because it sounded good.
All right. Well, moment of truth. Either I'm going to eat dinner early or I'm going to eat dinner late.
That's okay. Okay.
Let's pick a battery. All right. So I don't have the ESC wired in to the flight controller yet. I'm just got power going to it, the flight controller, and the motors and such. So I should only hear one tone. I should just hear the beep beep and not the rest of it. So that's what I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping not to see any smoke. Hey, I did it. There it is. Let's listen to that pretty sound again. Ready? Shh, everybody quiet. Shh, shh. And no smoke. No smoke. So
can you make that sound yourself?
Beep beep beep.
There you go. Hey, Casper.
Beep beep beep. Dee dee. That's what we want to hear is that second sound. That means everything's A-okay.
Noise.
Okay, all right. Here's the next thing that I never want to try. I never want to have to do, but I always have to do, and that's look at some instructions.
Oh yeah, we're not good with looking at instructions.
No, but I do have to know where and which motor to map things to. So I'm looking for. All right, so I've got up at the top. I have a black and red wire. Quick quiz there, Val. What's the black and red wire?
The black is the ground. The red is to the transmitter.
Nope, just voltage. It's just 5 volts. It's going to give you the rest of the circuit.
Okay.
So these two wires I'm not going to use because that was the crazy magic that I would have to do to tie it in with the little ports, the little plugs. So I'm actually going to cut these two bad boys off in a second.
Hi, Louise.
Then I have the other red wire here that's going to complete the circuit for me to create all the, as a circuit works, it has to have a place to go and a place to go from and a place to go to. I'm not going to use that either because, again, I'm powering everything through my ESC pads. So now I've got the signal wires. I've got motor 1, motor 2, motor 3,
Right.
and motor 4 is how I'm going to do this. All right. So now what I'm going to do is just simply pull the correct wire over to the pad. Now, the pad that I'm talking about, on all flight controllers, there are pads that have both the ESC positive and negative, and then the signal pad, which this is the pad that the information is going to say to the motor, all right, spin faster, spin slower. The ESC pads, the plus and the minus, just gives the power to the motor to do that spinning up and down. So that motor 1 has to be mapped correctly because you want motor 1 to know when to spin up. And again, if we're looking at this quad right here, here's my back. Okay? So as I have this as my back, that means that this motor here is motor 1, which should spin this way, which is
Clockwise, right?
clockwise. Then if this is motor 1 here, I've got my motor 2 here, which should now spin counterclockwise, going this direction in. Motor 3, diagonal, get it in frame here, is also going to spin counterclockwise. So you're saying to somebody the other day, Val, is the opposites, the diagonals, spin the same direction.
Right.
So now motor 1 and motor 4 right here is going to also spin clockwise, just like motor 1. Now, I've got to make sure, and that's why it's very important, everybody, never to ever put your props on until you're ready to fly the thing and you're pretty sure that all the motors are spinning correctly. Because what happens is if I mismapped one of these 3 wires going to my ESC, it's going to spin the motor in an incorrect direction. So right now I hope and I believe all of my motors are mapped 1, 2, 3. So that means I'm going to have motors that are spinning incorrectly. But when I go into the software, I'm going to know that, all right, motor 1 is normal, but I need to reverse it. So that means I'm going to spin it the other way to continue to have my correct spin on all my motors. Okay? All right. So now we're at the point where I'm just going to signal all these up, and then I should be able to plug the battery back in, and we should be able to hear it go beep, beep, or do-da-da, beep, beep, and give us the rest of the tones, signifying that, hey, this is ready to go.
I'm gonna have to say hi to Miss K, Nordic Blue, love my drones, Baduga, Eric. Wolf had a question there for you. He said, where is he? Wolf. Okay, Louis, you could lift the wedge, hold the wire in the connector, and remove the wire that way.
Yeah, I could do that. But here's another thing too. I don't know. I trust my soldering to the points better than I trust the ports and the connectors. So from here, I do have a connector that I could pull out, but believe it or not, I'd rather have to solder to something, simply because in a very violent crash, ports pop out really easily, and then the quad doesn't work. So it takes a little bit more to rip the wire out from a solder point than it does to pop one of the ports. So I'm just as happy hardwiring everything into it. All right.
I miss Kay.
Man, yesterday I had to go. I had to go and get some medication for one of my cats. So I went. Well, yeah, he's got a thyroid issue, but we give him medicine every day, and I wasn't keeping up with getting getting the right amount of medication in our resupply. So I had to run out and get some more medication for him. But anyways, long story short, I go by this beautiful memorial park, and it has an obelisk in it. I flew that thing yesterday. Oh my God. I think I did one of my best FPV videos I've ever done. It was gorgeous. I did a beautiful building, a dive of the obelisk. Very smooth flight. No prop wash. I got to say, I was very proud of myself.
Hi, Alexandra. How you doing today? Roger?
Yeah,
Does Alexandra mostly speak French?
I think so.
So could you tell her we say hello?
Okay. Bienvenue, Alexandre. Val a dit bonjour, puis bienvenue.
Kim aussi.
Ooh, Kim can speak too. Pretty sexy, guys.
No hable español.
Not
No,
doing the same thing.
Or
Same thing, Paul.
petit parle français?
So that sounds very different when you do it.
All right. Motor 1, here you go.
Turkey, you and I need to talk because you should not even consider giving up, dear. Because your stuff is very cool.
Who's giving up?
I think I read Turkey was thinking of giving up YouTube. And that should not happen. Everyone gets discouraged, Turkey.
Why? What happened to him? What's up?
Yeah, Turkey, talk to us.
Yeah, Verdugo, Mobula is an awesome little look.
Thank you, Roger. To try translate in French. I speak
Nordic Blue, I know what you mean. That's a freaking awesome looking little whoop, that the Mobula.
I've been hearing a lot of people talking about moving that one. No hablo español. Just a few words. Well.
All right, so I have it wired up. One of the things I'm going to have to do is probably pop the fourth motor to get behind to do the camera, but that's okay. Let's just pop it up, put the camera on, and then put it back on. But I'm very interested in hearing those other tones to come out right now, so let's do that.
Easy, thank you. Okay, so what should we hear?
So what you should hear is those first two tones that we heard before, beat, and now we should hear the second tone saying that everything's good to go.
Okay, let's do it.
There they are. It always makes me a little afraid. I always wait too long. I was like, why isn't it going? I'll do it again. Ready? Here it comes.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so what's that doing is it's pushing out to the motors, and it's kind of like it's cool. It's vibrating them to a pitch. I think the pitch is like 740 or something like that in the spectrum, but it's dee. So what I'm gonna do later on is I'm gonna crank that volume up, and I'm gonna turn on a pulse after a minute of nothing happening to it. So what's that gonna do is when I crash in a field or in a tree or something, and I can't find it, after a minute of nothing doing, me not doing any buttons or it not moving, it's going to go beep, 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 beep. It's going to act like its own buzzer. So we're going to set that up, and I'll show you guys how to do that too. Oh, and incidentally, I'm going to give you the .jos file, it's called, for Betaflight. So anything that I'm going to do here tonight, programming wise, I'm going to make a file backup so that you guys can use it at home as well. But you got to make sure that you get all the same components that I'm using here. And I think Val has that PDF, right?
I think your microphone's off, Val.
It is because my dogs are going nuts. Yes, you have the PDF, and I'll make sure that you guys get it.
All right. And I think that what was the build cost? Now, this is not the goggles, and this is not with the Tyrannus. I think this whole quad ended up costing what, $250?
$250, yes. Yep, it did.
So that's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Oh, you're now an MD? You're now Maryland? Okay, basically those last two beeps mean that the flight controller of the escape and escape realize each other and now working correctly. That's woof.
Yep.
I got mine set for 5 minutes. I usually take a while to get to them.
I'm anxious. I'm anxious. I want to find the darn thing real quick.
Right? Hey, Merch, how you doing?
Hey, March. Hi, Merch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to go back to this. Sorry.
All right, now here's the next thing. Here's my VTX. Now I Frankensteined it out of another quad, so I had it set up a different way where it was powered by a power distribution board, and then video and signal and everything went right to my camera. Well, I'm gonna split this signal up for this build because this flight controller gives you OSD. So what's basically going to happen is I'm going to take this one bit off here, and that's the camera bit. That's the video signal, the power, or the 5 volts. Well, in this case, it's 9 volts coming out, and the ground. So I'm going to put that on the board, so that goes to the camera. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to power the VTX from the other side of my flight controller, because that has ports for power and OSD. So what's basically happening is it's taking all the information from the flight controller and any OSD, meaning on-screen display, like my voltage, my timers, my artificial horizon, all of that stuff that's baked onto this board is now going to be going through the board into my VTX to send it back to my face. So it's going to pull the information that I'm seeing out here into the board. Then out the back of the board, it's going to overlay the video with the OSD, plug it into the VTX, and the VTX is sending it to my eyes. So that's the cycle of what's happening. Is everybody cool with that?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay, so I got a question, Ken. Did you understand everything he was saying?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. I think I might have gotten a little bit lost, but it's okay.
So
It's okay.
again, no problem. Really simple. Video in to the board.
Yeah.
The board puts stuff on the video.
Yes.
The stuff with the video on the board comes out onto the video transmitter, which sends that video and stuff that's on the video back to my face.
Well,
Okay. So it's going back to the goggles?
Yep. But it's going back to the goggles with information that's going to help me from my board. So the information that I'm talking about is the OSD, which is, my false horizon that I can put on a timer. My battery usage is really important, because if I pull my battery down too low, I'll ruin my battery. So there's a graphic right on my face, right on that video that I'm seeing through my FPV that says, oh, hey, there's your battery. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down. And I can even program it to start flashing at a certain point to give me an alert to say, hey, you better land this thing or it's going to fall out of the sky.
Okay. I got it.
So basically it's telemetry. It's information that the pilot would use to fly the craft correctly and safely.
It's what you don't see in the videos, Val.
Right.
See it, you don't.
So I'm just going to take this off.
Hi, UA Pack Mule, James Ward. Of course, Miss K. Love you, Miss K. Star Cop in the house, merch in the house. Hey, guys. We are working on the second part of the build that we started on Sunday. And we have the Canadian Drone Hub. Don't forget, they're on every day at 9 a.m. Okay.
Nordic says, don't forget, never power your VTX without an antenna on it.
Okay.
That is excellent advice. Yes, because what's happening is all of the power that is going through this thing. So and that's another reason why they have this big metal plate here. It's a heat sink, because these things get extremely hot because all the power pushing through it, the power has to go somewhere, and if it doesn't go somewhere, it causes heat.
Yeah.
And the power that it wants to go out and go somewhere is that antenna to shoot out a radio signal for it to be captured. So that power can't be pent up, or otherwise your VTX goes poof. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I just shortened up the wires for my camera.
Okay.
Just so that it's going to fit in that little tight spot a little bit neater and tighter.
Okay, Cadroso.
Miss KFAV went through 3 VTXs in 2016 because of this.
You don't want me to show you my slag bucket of all the stuff that I've ruined. I've gone through a lot of components. I have a whole bucket that I haven't thrown any of them. I bought everything that I've bought pretty much, except for a couple of props here and there, and that I've ruined, all my components and so on and so forth. I've kept. I have a plan for them. Do you want me to tell you the plan?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Real quick. All right. So I got all of these beautiful, let me pick up here. I got all of these beautiful boards, right? So if you break these up or take a certain portion of it, you can make jewelry out of this stuff. As a matter of fact, I have several tie clips that an indie artist had made that I just fell in love with, and they're basically recycled circuit boards, for which this person has taken this circuit board, ground it down into a round, like pinion kind of a thing or whatever, and attached a tie clip, and I wear a tie clip with a circuit board on it, and it amazes the kids. They're like, "Hey, what's that in your tie clip?" And I said, "That's a real circuit board." So one of my ideas for fundraisers and so on, like stuff like that, is I'm going to find somebody who wants to make some jewelry out of this crazy stuff. How about this, Val? Wouldn't these look great as some crazy like earrings?
No, but let me just say, no, I don't think so. Okay, it says, yes, Merch RC, because receiving, not pushing power. I actually pull my antenna off my goggles if I'm looking for a bird. You have to be closer to it for the signal to be clear, like a RDF.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, Miss K, I think you'll agree. A keychain, maybe, Miss K is saying. Yes.
Yes.
A keychain would be cool.
Hey, I'm not the jewelry designer. I'll leave that to somebody else.
I
But
think
it would be
you
kind
let us
of a
know.
neat, novel idea, you know?
I think you let us know you weren't the jewelry designer when you showed that and said it could be an earring. Just
Yeah.
saying. I
I
think
gave that away, right?
away. Action finder.
All right. So I'm going to take this one signal wire off so that I can do the work that I need to do. And I need to take some wires.
Nice, Ed.
Hey, look at that. I'm recycling again some wires that I just clipped off. I'm going to use to power the video. So will that give me enough length? That will.
I'll be right back. Roger, can I put me on mute and you take over?
Yeah, okay.
Kim?
No problem.
All right. Any questions so far? Anybody? Because I don't have my chat up. I can't really keep going with that either.
RDF is short for Radio Direction Finder.
Yep. All right, so I just grabbed some extra wires, and I'm going to use the red and the black for the obvious things, the power and the ground, and the white is going to be my signal wire or my video wire. So, keeping track of that, I'm going to tin these guys up and solder them on. So, Kim and Roger, you guys are big Trekkie fans?
Oh, I look at it every night.
Yeah, so to speak, yeah.
Are you guys more TNG or old school or?
Well, I mean, any of them.
Really?
Even the newer ones that are coming out.
Yeah, I hear CBS is supposed to come out with another new one.
Yeah, I can't remember the darn name now.
Yeah.
They tried two other ones before. I don't remember their names either.
Yeah, Voyager, I think I didn't get
Well, no, after that, there was one that used spores to get around and stuff like that. For spore drive.
What was that name?
I can't remember the darn name now. But they've come out with a couple, but they haven't come back with the same series yet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was good.
I remember Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Or Deep Space Nine. That was awesome. That was a freaking.
Yeah, it was good. They did a lot of talking. That's the only problem. I like the battle scenes.
Yeah.
They did too much talking.
Exploding stars and battle scene. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
Kim's a simple man. He just likes the war things, right, Kim? You just like all the battles.
A little bit more exciting.
That's
yeah. If you talk Star Trek, you get my roommate coming to the table. Bigger birds, yes, merge RC, but smaller ones do. I meant it as a buzzer, but not very loud. Especially when upside down in the weeds.
Yes, but did you know that through BL Holly S Suite, you can turn that volume up?
Did not know that.
Mm-hmm. You can crank the volume. All right. Boy, those stinking kids today just wouldn't stop coming. They wanted to be taught.
What happens with that? What's up with them going to school?
I know. Wanting to learn stuff. All right.
Just remember birds. Yeah. Bump the motor so you can hear noises. That's what I do sometimes.
What's that? What did you say, Kim?
When you lose your quad and you don't have a DVR to find the footage whereabouts it is, you just bump the motor so if you hear
Yeah.
Ooh.
The only problem with that is you burn out ESCs.
Yep. Yeah, you got to be careful of that. Or too, if it landed upside down, it won't arm.
Yeah.
If you've disarmed it. Now, do you guys know about turtle mode at all?
Yeah, I did turtle mode in the pine tree here when I put that little FPV quad up there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One flip and I was back flying again.
Yep,
Nice.
flipped it right out.
Yeah.
So turtle mode, for those of you that don't know, is a protocol where you can set up on your Tyrannus or through Betaflight on one of your switches to when you're upside down, you can turn turtle mode on, and it'll only allow your motors to spin up in whatever direction your sticks move. So if you're upside down and you pitch over to the right, it's going to pull the motors on the right and reverse them actually and pop you back over. is what the idea is. And it sometimes goes real fast. It just flips you a couple of times, but you can kind of get the feel of it and flip yourself back over in an event of a crash, especially if, your props aren't busted or, something else isn't wrong with the quad.
Yeah, or if you get it stuck in a tree.
Yep. Yeah, you can kind of keep it going, because once you disarm and you don't have turtle mode on and your quad isn't back, at least kind of like upright, you can't arm it again.
Yeah, because the barometer or something like that, that's in it.
Yeah, the accelerometer.
Accelerometer. Yeah.
Yep. Accelerometer doesn't play well. All right. Okay. Wow, this is getting to be almost done here, people.
Oh, nice.
So after I get this wired in here, the next thing I'm going to move to is binding it to my Tyrannus. All right. These guys.
The tree the other day. Nice. I know the best way to find your quad to never crash.
There you go. But I crash a lot.
I've crashed too. I was hoping I wouldn't, but I did.
It's weird though. I've gotten better at flying. I'm going to say that I've gotten a heck of a lot better than flying. And when I first used to crash, I used to crash hard and break things. Now when I crash, I don't crash as hard, or I don't crash as violently, or at least I know how to kind of mitigate the crash that I'm about to have. And knock on wood, I haven't really broken things.
So Corey Mann says if you use the sticks to recalibrate gyro, you can rearm.
That works too, right? So now let's say your quad is sideways sitting in a tree, and you do that recalibration with the sticks. It will work some of the time. I've tried that, and for whatever reason, because you're in a tree and it's kind of moving or swaying, you have to be dead still in order to reorient that quad. So it works sometimes, but if it's just slightly moving, you're not going to be able to reset the calibration.
So Wolf says, Corey Mann, or just set arm angle to 180 while you set up your quads and not have to recalibrate gyro ever again.
But that's thinking ahead of time, and I don't do that.
Yeah, Wolf. What are you doing thinking ahead?
That's a good idea. I never really thought of that. Huh, I learned something. All right, maybe I'm going to do that now. Because sometimes I've gotten to the point now, too, where I don't even have an accelerometer turned on. So that won't even bother me anyways. I'll just be able to arm it anyways. But I still have several quads that, I want the accelerometer on so that I can do that stabilization mode. But yeah, that would be a good idea to recalibrate it so I can arm it no matter what orientation it's in.
I like Miss K. Yeah, but if you aren't crashing, are you really even flying?
Nope. You are not, Miss K. If you're not crashing, you are not flying.
That is a good ahead of LOL from Nordic Blue.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Miss K is
Flipside's wife.
Flipside's wife. Thank you. Right. I just watched one of his videos today. Kudos to him. Very cool video. I loved it. I think.
Have you watched hers?
Yes, I've seen hers too. Did she put out a video? I know I saw him today. I've seen a lot of videos the last couple of days. I think I've seen a couple of hers. I was very impressed with her flying too.
Oh yeah. Miss K, thanks for the support. Nice. Hey, 616 drones. Jim is in the house.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, it takes away a safety measure to set to 180, but I live dangerously. That is Nordic Blue RC. Oh, Merch, I swear the tree jumped out at me. That's what happened to me. The ladder moved. Yes, Miss K, you are very chill and you're flying and it's beautiful.
So those trees without any branches, or without any trees on the branches, are good. Great friend Stinger's swarm. Kevin Doherty calls them scraggle.
Mm.
Oh boy! All right, let's check and see if the VTX works now. If that gets powered on, or if we go smoky pop.
Takes a while.
Let me plug in an antenna and hope we hear our pretty tones without seeing any smoke. And we see some lights on our VTX pop on. Nope, VTX is not on. Uh-oh. Well, so there's a problem. Might not get FPV tonight, people.
What?
Yeah.
Are we going to have a part 3?
No. I'll give you an update as to what happened to the VTX as far as powering it. I don't know what's going on here. Got it hooked up correctly. Could have been a bad VTX, too. I did steal it from another quad.
The power pole stepped out in front of me the other day.
Yeah.
Jim saying crossed wire possible.
Yeah, it's crosswire possible, but I'm pretty sure I got it in there correct.
So Lewis Wolf is saying make sure that the pads are 5V. It is 5V.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, because this VTX actually will take a range from 7 volts up to 27 volts. So I'm pretty sure that my KV or the power is correct. I just might have a blown VTX because this has been on a couple of quads. So that's what I think I'm going to go with is this VTX might be blown. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, they're saying check the voltage.
Yeah, no, it's blown. It's blown. I've set up enough of these that I know that if I not to be big-headed about it, but I'm 95% positive that I set it up correctly. But this has been on a couple of different quads. So I could have, and I honestly, I don't remember the last time I plugged it in and made it work. I just like, oh, here's a quad. This is the one I'm going to fix off and take off. Mm-hmm. So more than likely, I probably blew this another time and didn't even realize it.
It said try connecting it to the XT60 pads.
Yeah, I'm going to, well, I've got a couple other things that I'm going to try with it here. Let me see.
And then 616 says you can bridge to V5 or 5V.
Yeah. But
and
that's not the problem. I don't think it's the problem. I think it's just straight up, it's seen its better days. So what I'm going to do, just for giggle's sake, I'm going to make sure that the pad, now here's another thing too. Maybe the pads on the brand new flight controller here don't work. I've actually had that happen to me before too, where I'm like, I'm putting on a brand new VTX and it works, and I'll put it on this, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. Okay, well, let me put it on another board. Hey, it works again. But this is a brand new. The pads were just bummed. I had a couple of Bardwells that did that to me.
Nordic Blue says, might just be old in a dud. I don't think he was talking about you, Louis P. Floyd. I think it was that.
Oh, I'm old and a dud, but yeah, the VTX is old and probably a dud.
I just giving you a hard time, Paul.
That's all right.
Exactly.
All right, so what I did, just for just for giggle's sake, I took and I just, now I know this VTX because I've done this before. This VTX will take from 7 to 24 volts. I'm running 4S into this thing. So what's the voltage from this? Anybody? At full charge, it's 16.8. So that's going to give me 4.2 per cell. So that's right in the limits of this guy here. So what I did was I'm taking this guy and taking it off of the pads that I'm supposed to have it on, and I'm going to put it onto the ESC pads, which are going to run full on 16.8 volts through it. And let's see if it lights up then. If it lights up with this, then I know that the pads that are dedicated to the video on the board are junk. It just didn't work or something happened to the board. But if they don't light up now, the way I've remapped it, I know that it's my VTX. So let's see. Uh-oh. Guess what? See it light up? So now that tells me that the pads are crap.
Oh, man.
So the pads on this board aren't pushing the power that it's supposed to push to go to my VTX. But just for giggle's sake, let me just re-put it on there just to see. Maybe I could have mis-soldered it somehow. I don't know. But now I know that both of them work. Or I know that this works. So let me just pop them off and put them back onto where I had it before.
Night Train says, I always run to full power when available.
Yep. Well, this particular VT or this particular board allows you to change the camera setting from 5 volts to 9 volts. Now, because of the speeds that I'm going to be pushing this little quad at, I want to use 9 volts to power my VTX. It's going to give more power, especially when the voltage drops when I punch out. I'm not going to have a situation where the VTX is going to brown out, where it's going to have some power, but not enough power to give me the video. So let me see here. Do that. All right, well, let me plug it back in. I just put them back onto the pads. I resoldered them. So maybe it was a bad solder job that I did. I'm not that big of a guy to say I didn't do that. Oh, my God. I'm a horrible solderer.
Solderer?
So I might have touched something somewhere, and it just slightly didn't work. All right, look at that. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Now, all right. Ooh, can't forget to put Signal 4 back on.
What a noob, he said. There she goes.
That's right. I am a noob.
That's what Night Train just said. He's so funny.
All right, so we're still, all right. So you know what? Now I'm real curious. Let's make sure this really does work, and get the battery going here, or get the camera on and plugged in. So instead of taking it out, wasting time, let me just do this. All right, excuse me for a second. I got to go grab my goggles upstairs.
Okay, guys, it just grew you on there.
Interesting.
Okay, so there are a lot of things that can go wrong when you're doing a build, is what I'm getting. You know, you have to backtrack it. So listen.
Right. Instead of my goggles, I got the big screen here. Come on, baby, work.
Yes, and I'll have to sign up for a while. It's all right, Nordic Blue.
Grr, come on, really?
Is it not working again?
No, it's just this handset or whatever that I'm using doesn't want to skip onto the channels that I want. Really? Oh, there it is. It just okay. Hey, look at that! It works! Yay! Well, I don't know which camera to show.
Okay.
It's blurry, but I gotta adjust the camera. But there's the video feed. Hey, it works! Oh, thank goodness. Yay! All right, cool beanage. Now let's put on the RX and get the thing squared away.
Bench is a mess. Looks like the front of my computer where it's sit.
All right, so now
That's right.
all right. So here's our receiver. So I'm going to take the 2 power. Now, a lot of you guys in here are going to yell at me because I'm not using smart port and I'm not using telemetry. Again, I don't need it on this build. This is just going to be a beater quad that's going to be raced around until it breaks because I'm not too happy with this frame. So what I'm not using on here is the smart port and the telemetry. So what is that, Val?
What?
Smart port and telemetry. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, that's how your drone flies.
Yes, it is. So smart port is the ability to use your radio to change video channels or to augment your radio, your flight controller using your radio. So instead of having to open it up or plug it back into Betaflight through your on-screen display through your OSD, SmartPort will allow you to change your video channel and a few amount of settings on your flight controller. So it's a pretty cool thing to have. And then the telemetry is what tells you your linkage to your craft. So as you fly away from yourself, your telemetry will go down and tell you, hey, you better get back here if it flies to the edge of its range. So your telemetry is important too. If you're doing freestyle or like long range, you want to know your telemetry connection is good, that your radio linkage is good. So with that said, I'm going to take these 2 wires here. I am not going to clip these guys because I will be using these some other time, but I'm just going to roll them up and I'm going to put it all into a heat shrink wrap.
Buy merch.
Buy merch.
I can't do that yet until I get them plugged in and then conformal coat it and then wrap it because I don't want to heat shrink it until I conformal coat this bad boy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to conformal coat this bad boy until I get it linked to my radio, because what sometimes happens is people conformal coat their things, right? And then their buttons, like a bootloader or your bind button, doesn't work anymore because you've conformal coated it, and now those connections don't make a connection, because that's the idea of conformal coating. You're protecting it from making a connection. So you got to be careful with that. Make sure you connect everything that you want to connect up and everything works before you start painting that stuff on. You can fix it by dunking it into rubbing alcohol and stuff like that to clean it up, but that's a pain in the butt and another step. All right, so with this, how I'm going to put this bad boy in is this is going to go underneath and in between all of the good stuff.
Hi, Hooper.
So let me just get it in there.
Thank you, Gunpowder. How are you doing?
I gotta do this. Pop this port out. There we go. Now, I've got to make sure I do not turn anything on when I'm doing this because nothing is protected. So these 3 electronics here that I'm smushing together should not touch each other. But because of how I want to do this build and keep it nice and tight and clean, I'm putting things where I need to go for right now so that I can measure the cuts of the wires. So that's going to go there. These guys are going to go up here to
Oh, thank you, Trick Lady.
here. Then I'm going to give myself enough little room to make a mistake if I do, so I can recut my wires. My dad always says, measure 3 times and cut once.
That's right, Paducah. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let me solder tin these up and then solder it on. And we'll be ready to bind the controller, hopefully. Now, one part I'm not going to go over with everybody is the part on your controller, what you need to do to get it to work. I could go over that with anybody that needs to do that, and maybe we should do that a video on the Tyrannus. But basically, I bind all of my quads to the same model on my Tyrannus. So in other words, I have a protocol here. This one is going to be S-Bus. So all of my S-Bus protocol models are hooked up to one model, and it says S-Bus on my Tyrannus. Now, if I'm going to do PWM or something else, or my Tiny Whoops, they're in another model, but they're all on the same one model. So like I have several Tiny Whoops that are all the same. I tie them all to one model so that I don't have like Tiny Whoop 1, Tiny Whoop 2, Tiny Whoop 3, Tiny Whoop 4, S-Bus 1. I don't do that. I just tie them all to the same model because I program it the same way on my radio controller. In other words, the first channel is always throttle, the second channel is always pitch, and so on and so forth.
Thank you for saying so, Nordic Blue. I appreciate it.
Yeah, he's one of that person, Nordic Blue. That person was a new person, right? That you guys found, Roger, Kim?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I saw one of his videos today when they popped up. I think I picked up like maybe 5 or 6 new people today, both me subbing them and them subbing me.
Yep.
And I remember his videos, or that person's videos was pretty good.
Okay, Nordic. Take care, man. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Mr. Crowley, how you doing?
Hi, Nordic Blue. Maybe we'll see you on your phone. Hey, Mr. Crowley's here?
Yep.
Hi, Mr. Crowley and Rory. They fly Nordic Blue, and they are decent. Hey, that's all you need to do. Yeah, love my drones. He's cool. Tomorrow is Tuesday.
All right, so I'm putting the receiver on. Okay, get back here. Positive, negative. Making sure none of my pads are touching her.
That just shows you this soldering stuff is so important. So important.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a skill that people have lost. This amazed me. When I first was getting into the hobby, I was trying to learn how to solder. And one of the things that I typically do is if I don't know something, I ask, hey, how do you do this? Does anybody know how to solder? And being in education, I was like, all right, so I'm asking a bunch of people. I know people that know people, right? I go to the tech teacher at my school. Hey, man, he's a young guy. I said, do you know how to solder? Because I want to learn how to solder. He's the tech teacher. He goes, I've never soldered in my life.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You know who I got some advice from?
Who?
The art teacher. You know why? Because she soldered jewelry. And she uses the same types of solder that you would use in electronics. The rosin core, the smaller bits, and so on and so forth. So I didn't learn it from the technology teacher. I learned more stuff from the
Art teacher.
her teacher.
Goes to show.
Yup.
Yep.
All right. Yay. So we have this ready now. So with all of its bits and nibblies hanging out, let me power it on and see if it works.
Hey, DIX FPV.
Sorry. I'm crossing my fingers for you.
It's flashing, so that means it's working.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So now here's the trick.
Hi, DLX.
Now we're going to bind it. So let me go get my Tyrannus, and I might have to have my wife come down here and plug this in. Because how you do this is you plug in while you press the bind button to put it into bind mode. And having three hands is always easy to have when you don't have three hands. And that's pretty much what you need to do or to have in order to do that. So let me see if I can do that. I'll be right back. Grab my...
Okay. Blowing up Roger and Kim. Present them. Hey, Kitties Market, how you doing? So what do you think so far, guys?
Interesting.
Okay.
Always learning.
It seems a little hard, but I think it's because I kind of probably have to do it to understand it a little bit better.
Just do research.
Yeah.
Check videos out and watch other people.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So I don't know. Is this camera? Do you want to maybe display this one here?
I got it displayed.
Okay. All right. So this is where I'm going to set the bind to the radio controller. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to just kind of talk it through a little bit, is I'm already on a model. I've already got my S-Bus model up and running. So I'm going to go into the menus, and I'm going to page over to where it says to bind it. Now, this binding, this channel range that I'm going to use is channel 1 through 16. And it's going to...
Net Dragon, hi.
It's going to be D mode, D16 mode, and I'm going to bind it. So I'm going to turn on the bind, and it's going to start twittering. There we go. All right, so that's what we're going to hear in a second. So before I do that, now, hi, Michelle, can you help me? My wife's going to help me plug this thing in. So you're going to plug it in. Michelle. Plug it in just like that, but give me a second. Let me get to where I got to go. All right. So I'm pushing the button in.
Ready?
Yep, go ahead. Push it in real hard. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My wife, Michelle. Yay.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
All right. So now the receiver is showing a red light and a green light to indicate that it's in bind mode. I'm not sure if you can really see that. But now I'm going to turn my Tyrannus into bind mode, and that little light should go off, hopefully. Oh, no, it's going to blink. So it did. It's receiving the information. So now, hopefully, my motor or everything is bound. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to take that, turn it off. Ooh. And I'm going to go back out to the main menu of my Tyrannus and turn this back on. And I should see a signal link. Oh, and I don't. Oh, because I don't have it all configured yet. So now, let us go to and configure it. Beta flight.
Hey, Net Dragon. Hope you're doing well. Glad to see you here.
All right, so I'm going to protect the receiver now by putting it in this little dilly here.
We're saying you have to set up in beta flight, but you have the quad bound, LOL.
I think so. I should have seen a telemetry pop up, but I might not have had it. It might not have bound correctly for me, but I'll try it again, and I'll definitely know when I go into beta flight and I see things moving or not. Sometimes they're a little finicky on binding. I've often had to try and bind them a couple of times. Another thing too, it could have not worked well because I could have had the radio too close when I bound it. They're finicky. But we'll see what happens when we plug it in. Let me go get the cord.
Okay. Hey guys, Roger and Kim.
Hey, Syntac Warrior.
So Ed says light and green, so it's bound for sure. Wolf FPV. Love my free sky. Whoop whoop. That's the sound of the police. Hi, Tech Warrior.
Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. Yup.
Oh my God.
All right.
Oh, it's Z-Tech, because I say it wrong every time. Oh my God.
You're not the only one, me too.
Z-Tech, sorry, darling. I don't know why I say Z-Tech. I don't know.
What do you call
Z-Tech.
What is Z-Tech?
All right.
Z-Tech.
All right. So I'm going to need to screen share, so don't freak out here.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
There you go.
There it is. Let's get us some beta flight. And yes, I don't have the newest release before everybody goes crazy. I usually like to wait a little bit before I do the updates. All right. Hey, let me see. There's a quad that moves. Look at that. All right. Oh, and I forgot too. I didn't have to have my wife come down here and help me bind it because I could have just plugged it in with the computer and bound it that way. But whatever.
Yeah, but we wanted to see her and say hi. So
All right. So I think I have things pretty much configured on some of this already. D-Shot 6, yup. S-Bus, boom, 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 yup. Okay, receiver. Now, here's the problem. Let's see. This should be all freaky right now, I think. Let me see. Hey, look at that. Isn't that crazy? Look at that thing. Flippy floppy. All right, so you can't see me doing this, but I'm on the controller right now, flipping it and moving my sticks, and you see all the the roll, pitch, and all that good stuff. One of the things that really freaked me out, and I just couldn't get around my head, was the fact that these have to be mapped correctly as well. And the mapping here is the channel mapping. And what I found out is it's TARE, I believe. So throttle, aileron, elevator, roll, and elevator. So if I hit save now, we should be able to have full authority of this. All right, so my pitch and roll work. Oh, but my yaw and my pitcher are screwed up. So I have to go back up to here, and I think it's RAE. Oops. And save. Let's see if that works.
Drone pool.
Nope.
Drone pool, Dan.
Wolf is saying TREA.
Oh, thank you, Wolf.
Wolf is extremely knowledgeable in this.
He knows this stuff.
Yeah, he does.
TREA, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Boom.
Tree.
Oh, no.
More.
Darn it, I have it wrong. TR. I think it's tear. TEAR. Oh.
I use TAER 1, 2, 3, 4, and so does Jim. And yeah.
Yep, that's it. I just, you know what was happening to me? Every time I looked up, for whatever reason, my cursor was in the wrong spot. I think that's a glitch on the software because I kept putting in TAER, but it kept taking my numbers off. I was like, what the heck? But I got it now. So there's my pitch and roll. Well, there's pitch, there's roll, and then my yaw. So now I am all correctly mapped. Yay! So
There you
now
Carpenter Rick.
things to do are the modes.
Hi, Carpenter Rick.
Add my mode. And I'm going to put that on switch there.
Yes.
Angle is going to be
Kitty, you
there.
are. You're a great friend.
No problem, Kitty.
Horizon. And then, fail safe has to be on there too. We'll put that there, to there, to there, to there. Air mode's got to be on there. Got to have air mode. That's going to be on that switch. And then we got flip over crash range. That's our turtle mode. We're going to put it on that switch.
Yeah, let's get turtle moved.
Hit mode, Arco tuner. All right. So, hey, now if we put props on and we did everything right.
Z-Tech Warrior says, why didn't you do it using Android or Speedy B? It's so fast.
Oh, the Speedy. I don't know. Because there's just so much to know and how to do it. And I'm one of those guys that I want to know which button I have to push to find out why it works and why it didn't work and all that good stuff. Throttle motor up. Good. D-shot. All right. I think I'm ready to bench test this bad boy now.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So let me
Hi,
disconnect.
Carpenter Rick.
And we want to put it, let me put it back in front of the other camera so that you can see the motor spin. And then I'll open up BL Heli, okay? And I'll show you how that works. So let me bring it back over to here. Let me stop screen sharing.
Z-Tech. Do it his way. Not many use Speedy B yet. Don't even have a PC. Rather spins on drones.
Yeah, if you don't have a PC, Speedy B. Okay, so what that is it emulates Bluetooth or it emulates Betaflight on your phone, and it's this thing that you plug into your flight controller, and then you plug in a battery to turn it on, and it shoots Bluetooth to your phone, and now you've got all the abilities of what I just showed you on my laptop now on your phone.
Okay.
All right, so hopefully I don't have any craziness touching anything anywhere. So I'm going to plug it in, and I should be able to spin up some motors.
Hi, Johnson. Hi, Beth.
Hey, look at that.
There you go.
It works. Okay, so motor 1 is wrong, like I knew. And motor 3 should be wrong as well. Yep. All right, so motors 1 and 3, I have to change the direction to spin the correct way. Because motor 1 is spinning the wrong way. Motor 2 is correct. Motor 3 is incorrect. Motor 4 is correct, just because of the way that they are on the machine. All right, so now we got to go back over.
And so they're using an OTG cable because it's easier than Bluetooth.
Oh, okay, yeah. Same thing. Same idea. It's really cool to be able to get that out in the field, because if you're out in the field or out flying somewhere, you don't want to bring your computer and all that junk, All right. I got a screen share again, and then so what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to cut it short because we're coming up on 8 o'clock. We know the FPV works. I'm not going to put the camera in tonight because I got to kind of square that away and get it all lined up, and that's going to be tedious. But what I do want to do is I'll take my phone out. We'll go out in my backyard or in my workout studio here, and we'll hover the thing. But we got to get the correct prop spin or correct motor spin. So now, am I screen sharing with you? Can you see it?
You are.
Okay, so now we're going to go into Betaflight. Now, Betaflight, let me close these off here. Betaflight, or excuse me, BL Heli Suite is a pass-through protocol, is a pass-through piece of software that you can reach the ESCs by way of going through the flight controller. And this special software called BL Heli Suite will allow you to configure the software's the software, the firmware that's run on the ESCs. So now I'm going to connect to it. I have to plug in a battery.
It's okay, Carpenter Rick.
So now we're going to be able to see, hopefully, all the craziness. All right, so now this panel here, over here, so programming by TX, I can have that happen. So that's if I had my telemetry and all that set up through my smart port, I could program the ESCs through the TX. Startup power is 50, blah, blah, blah. All right, so this is what I was talking about before, the beep strength. I crank these bad boys up to 222. That strength, the beep strength, and the beacon strength is going to be 222. So they're going to be loud. Now we're going to hear a huge difference in the beeps when we unplug this stuff. And then I'm going to turn it to 1 minute so that as it sits for 1 minute and doesn't move, it'll start beeping those ESCs. Now, here's another thing that I do over here is I usually push down. Oops, let's do this first. Motor direction, normal. We want it reversed. Number 1 was incorrect, and also number 3 was incorrect. So we want to reverse those. And we're also going to take the PPM min throttle. We're going to go down to, and this is so what we're doing here is we're calibrating the ESCs to work exactly the same every time. So the min throttle is going to be at that level, and the max throttle I usually put at 2008. No, 16. My bad, 16. So that's going to give me the full range of the ESC's power from really low throttle to really high. And they're all going to hopefully be working in unison, in synchronization, because that would be a good thing. It would be a bad thing if one decided to go rogue and spin crazily on.
So I'm not sure if I'm speaking out of turn, but I'm thinking maybe me and Roger might be both confused. Are you confused, Roger?
Are you confused, George?
Roger doesn't even know to say how confused he is.
I'm sure I know I am.
I'll tell you what, I'm still confused at some of this stuff. I kind of understand how this min and max works, but I kind of don't know all the science behind it. It was explained to me several times, and I grasped what I could, and the most that I grasped was the stuff that I needed to know how to do and make it work. Now, I can go back through and I can do this another way, but these certain ESCs are programmed. They're programmed to do a specific protocol, and because they're so many, there's a different way to kind of equalize them. And when you first started out to synchronize and equalize the ESCs, you would be in beta flight or clean flight, one of the flight configurators, and you would go to the motors tab, and without putting a battery on, you would take the motors tab and put all of the motors all the way up, full throttle them, and you would plug in the battery. It would go beep beep beep, and then you would take the throttle and pull it all the way down, and then it would sing some more to you, beep beep dee 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 do da dee 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 beep, and then by the time all those beeps happened, they would all be in sync, and it would sound like one thing. You know that your ESCs are not in sync if you hear beat up, but beat up, but beep, if they don't sing together.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing in this configuration tab on the screen sharing here is I'm making sure that all of the ESCs start and stop together when they're told to.
Okay.
So because you don't want, and another thing too is like if I were to take, like if I had 4 individual ESCs and motor 1 blew up on me, okay, and the ESC blew up on me, I got to make sure that I put the same ESC back into the mix, because if I put on a different version with a different firmware, they're not going to play nice together.
Okay.
All right, so let's write this setup. I believe I have everything squared away. My ESCs, I'm going to this other screen here, and this is where you flash your firmware. This is where the company puts out any fixes or bug fixes or upgrades to their firmware. And this program goes to all those firmwares and says, okay, the newest one, 6.8 is out, and it brings it to you, and then you see it in this menu that I'm showing you here, and you say, oh, okay, 6.7 or 16.7 is the most recent, so that's the one I'm going to use, so that's the one I've selected, and I've already flashed them all, 16.7. So supposedly these are the best program that these ESCs can have right now as far as the programmers are concerned.
Okay.
So I'm going to write that setup. So that means I'm going to tell the program to set the ESCs that way. Now, when I disconnect and unplug this thing, we should hear a louder startup tone from our ESCs. Much louder.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that translated through to you guys, but on this side, it came out loud and clear.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get all this craziness back over here on the bench. I still got it plugged in. Let me stop screen sharing.
It said, flash your ESC to 16.65 and change the beep strength to 91 Paul. Try it, please.
Okay, why would I do that? I'm just curious.
Why would we do it, Paducah?
Here, I'm trying to get onto another spot where I can see the chat feed.
Okay.
Hey, Blizzard.
Hey, Blizzrox, how are you doing?
Oh, there they go. They're speaking to us because I've let it go a minute. All right, now Baduga, what's Baduga saying here? Flash your ESCs.
Do it. I promise nothing wrong will happen. Is this the bad troll speaking?
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. So, Paducah, explain to me what's going to happen.
He doesn't want to tell you, he just wants you to do it.
I don't know if I'm going to trust Paducah. Sorry, man. One of the things I always tell my
He wants to
students.
start up the Star Wars startup tolls.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you want to learn something nice. Oh my God. Mo, I'm sorry, I forgot. You and I need to talk. Escape from where?
Paducah, I'm kidding with you. I just personally, that bugs the hell out of me. I just want to hear it go beep beep and start, you know?
I never troll when it comes to the hobby of I adore you. I adore you.
All right, so let's see if we got these motors spinning the right way.
Okay. So know that you're still on screen share.
Oh, am I? Oh no.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there we go. Okay, so we're back over on the bench.
Nice.
Got everything plugged in. Let's spin these bad boys.
Okay,
Hey,
let's
look
do
at
it.
that. It's going the correct way. It's going the correct way. Going the correct way. Going the correct way. Okay, let's
Nice.
button this up and get this thing flying.
Okay, let's get some props on this puppy.
You better believe it. Yeah, baby. Woo.
Go for it.
Okay.
Hey, Mo, how you doing?
Let's do that. All right, so let me see. Let me tuck this bad boy back in. I just want you people to know I did this all with no dinner. Val promised to me she was going to feed me after this.
Oops. It was Kim. He has meat pies and fries.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Johnson. Right, Kim? Do you have meat pies and fries?
Yep.
Because I'm waiting for my dinner to be delivered from Canada. And they'll be using Phantom to bring it to me, like Amazon.
It's going to take a while. It's going to be bad before you get it.
All right, so.
Oh my God.
I hear a piano.
It's actually my little girl playing ukulele.
Oh, is it?
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a big trumpet player too. She just got asked to go to district band. She's in 5th grade.
Far out.
Oh, love my drones. I just wanted Paul to do it so everyone can see how it works. I know, but Paul wouldn't. I don't understand. It's because he didn't get dinner.
That's right.
He gets persnickety when no dinner comes.
I get hangry like Kim. And the most uncooperating wires in the world are antenna wires.
They're like those stiff, cheap things you find in SEMAs and all that. You can't put a kink in them, and they're always popping back into place the way they were. And
Yep.
Right.
And this doesn't want to play well because I didn't heat shrink this wrap yet, but we're going to get it in there. There it is.
Hi, Mo.
So on my birthday, Paducah came on as the good troll for me, so I could see it. That was so nice, Paducah.
that's how that Ed.
Because I missed the good troll.
The good troll.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, calm down, Val. I got to get the props still.
I can't wait.
All right.
actually, when you think of the time we've taken to do this hasn't really taken.
And you
that-
guys have really slowed me down because I've had to say everything I've done.
Yeah, I'm sure it's us who slowed you down, Paul.
All right, now I'm gonna tuck these wires or these guys. Oh no, that's right. I do this. I keep forgetting.
So, Paul, don't you talk to yourself anyway when you're building?
In my head, Val, not out loud. That'd be crazy. No, I do. I was like, why? I yell at myself a lot. I'm like, why did you do that? That's so stupid. My God, you idiot.
Oh my God.
All right. So here's another thing too that we need to have. We need to have the top put on it. Well, we really don't, but I want to put it on just to be safe. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm getting nervous, guys. So I'm dropping things. Roger, say something. Stop. Break the silence.
I want a coffee. There you go. No, I'll hang around.
See, Val, did you check out Micromotor Warehouse? They do builds on Parrot Mambo frame? Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. You're saying I am quite fond of. By the time you pack all that stuff together, it's like 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag. No, put props on before testing fail safe on bench. Learn that from Slippery.
Oh, right. Yeah, I should fail safe at first. You're right. I should. We'll get that. We'll get that going too before I put the props on for real. So fail safe is there's two ways. There's several ways to set up fail safe, and oh crap! You know what? I'm not going to be able to set fail safe up on this one in here again yet. Can I get to the button? So what happens is, and I don't want to do that yet because I haven't conformal coded it. So I'm going to break a little safety standard protocol, but I do have a fail-safe switch on my Tyrannus. But that's not good enough because the fail-safe that you really, really want to set on a quad is when it loses linkage to your radio. So what a fail-safe on the quad through the receiver is you set the quad up, you put it into the state of it doing what you want it to do. Then you click the button to your failsafe or you disarm it so that nothing works. And then you hit the button, the bind button on your receiver once. It flashes and it has been fail-safed. So whatever you do and have it set up in configuration of, and you hit that button, that's the last setting that it will take when it loses linkage. So the idea is you turn the drone completely off, you fail safe it so that it does not work, you hit the button. Then when to test it, you power the quad on, you make the you arm it, you make the motor spin, and then you turn your Tyrannus off, making it lose linkage. And in a perfect world, and if you've done it right, like a split second later, your quad will power off and essentially fall out of the air. So that way you are, protecting it so it doesn't fly off.
The Wolf said you could just got into QX7 and set up fail safe, and he said, I don't know whether the way you were talking about LOL.
Yeah, well, so you can set it up via your Tyrannus. You can set it up through the receiver module itself by setting your Tyrannus into a mode where it doesn't fly and pressing that button. That's a redundancy, and that's the one that I usually use. All right. So now let's put on the top. We're going to tuck the video camera thing in here a little bit, and we'll put this on. Oh my goodness, guys, we're almost done. And you know what that means? It means that I can go eat.
So, if you could order my dinner to show up soon. We've had spaghetti tonight. Maybe not spaghetti. Wait.
All right.
Okay.
Almost done, people. Almost done.
You set up the type of failsafe you want to use on beta.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Yeah,
we do.
because you can set it up to fall out of the sky or hover and hold. So you could set it up to if you lose radio linkage to it, that the last thing that it knows when it lost the radio linkage is, all right, I'm going to hover. But that's not a good thing, because if you hover, it's still flying. You want the thing to come out of the sky.
But do you want it to drop out of the sky?
Yes, because you're a safe pilot and you're not flying around anything that you could not have it drop out of the sky around.
Okay. Paducah said mines are dropping dead.
Mine usually drop
Okay.
out of the sky too when I crash them. All right, so let me put these antenna wires up and through, grab some props, and fly this thing. There's that. Well, you guys have been a great captive audience, I got to tell you.
Oh, thank you. I think we lost Roger, though.
He's gone for coffee.
Roger, his
another-
coffee.
Maybe another meat pie. Oh, Cardozo, I'm back. Ate too much. And hit someone or something with prop spinning. Yeah, Paducah. Because I was thinking if it just stopped and hovered, then you could just walk to where it was and bring it down. But I get what you're saying now.
Never made and test a new quad with good props, because, you know, if it does the Tasmanian devil spin, there go your new props.
I like the red props.
I got purple ones. I got blue ones. What color props you want, Val?
I like the red ones. I like pink. You got pink? Let's do pink.
I don't have pink.
Okay, let's do red.
All right,
like-
so now, again, because even the DJIs, the Mavics, and all those other drones, they all pretty much run the same way with the prop angle pitches. Some drones, everything is reversed on the way that they're set up, where they spin out. But then again, too, you got to make sure that the props are spinning towards the cutting edge for the air, or cutting the edge of the air. So these prop angles are angled up here on motor 2, because I want it to cut in, and on motor 4 here it's angled that way, and I've positioned it so that it goes this way. So those props are cutting up.
That's right, Night Train. So Corey Man says, are those Emax red bottom motors?
They are. They're the race specs.
So when you're setting
These
up,
are the cool ones because they don't have the C clamp on the bottom. They have the screw on the bottom in order to release the bells. So in other words, these motors can come apart. The bells can come off from them. I don't know if I have any bells right here that I can show you. Well, but this is what's under the bell.
oh,
Those are all the metal windings around, and then the magnets. And then what happens is there's the stator, which is the middle part of the motor that goes through that, and that's usually C-clamped on with a little crazy clamp that nobody loves. Whereas these sport motors here will come off by just releasing the screw that's right in the middle.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
I see it.
Now, and another thing too that I forgot to mention, and it's an important thing, and it confounded me when I first got these frames. The motors don't fit unless you ream out the middle portion of it with a Dremel. So in other words, the part where the stator goes in and spins the motor
Yeah.
is too small on the carbon fiber. It constricted
That's
it.
the-
So
that's
I
the
just basically
thing.
reamed it out and cut it out.
What, Kim?
The stator is the post that the prop fits through, and it goes
Yes.
to the motor.
Yep.
Okay.
Because if you put your finger on it, you'll feel the motor spin. So that gets stuck in the hole of the arm. So you got to make it a little bit bigger so it can spin without being trapped. Or the motor
got
won't.
You got it.
He's ordering a pizza. Al's ordering pizza.
Yeah.
With extra bacon, damn it.
I have to do this one. So can you take over for me, Roger?
Yeah.
No.
Quick, Val, because I'm going to fly this thing.
Extra bacon.
All right. Oh, and you know what else I need now? I need a battery strap. That would help. Where did I put one?
Yeah, your workshop looks like Kim's computer room. He's got all his tools on his desk in front of his computer.
Everything's right there.
Everything's there. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that table clean.
When it's time for his 420, you can't find it.
That is a problem.
Yeah, it is. New free music. How you doing? Val's off right now. She'll be on in a couple of seconds. She's on the phone. How you doing? New free music.
And of course, the battery strap doesn't want to fit through this. All right, no biggie. I'll strap on a battery. So typically, the battery strap would go in between here, but I made sure that it was really flat, and I put some tape underneath it to make sure that it didn't touch the carbon fiber, and it's just not flowing smoothly enough through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some good old bigger Velcro and just strap on the battery around the whole thing.
That night train.
Because I'm flying this bird right now.
Bill.
And I might even look stupid and fly it in my
Basement?
cellar here.
But you're only hovering.
Yeah. All right. Let me make sure. Boom, boom. Oh, yeah, too. I should probably tighten the props on.
That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of them freaking spinning off.
Hey, Nico.
All right. So, again, guys, if this crazy little build didn't help, if you want to go back and look at some of it, and a lot of the guys that were in here already know what they're doing and have different ways to do it and still have fun and get the things done. But for anybody who's new at this, I don't know, this might help out a little bit. At least start them somewhere and get them thinking and get him wondering, like, what the heck did he just say? What did he do? How did he do that? And from there, that's where people start to learn and find out for themselves what's going to work for them, and start to learn how to do the hobby.
Paul, the stainers on there, what are those, 5mm? Or a little?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Are 5mm standard nuts for racers most times?
Yes, I believe they are. Let me see. What do I have on here? Yeah, 5/16.
Okay.
For you non-metrics people, right?
Yeah.
Non-metric, yeah.
All right. Well, let me strap on a battery here and have this thing hover.
Watch your fingers.
Ooh, yeah. All right. So there.
Dang, the battery.
What size battery is that?
The car battery.
Yeah, it's a 4S. It's bigger than the whole darn machine.
Yeah.
I see that. You using duct tape?
No, it's double. It's Velcro. It's actually a great Velcro strap. Yeah, no, I was going to use duct tape, but then I decided not to. All right. Well,
There she goes.
so there's that. Well, I got to wait for Val to get back. Or should I do this without her? Oh, she'll be mad.
She'll freak you. She'll
She'll
freak.
be mad. All right. Let's see here. Let me create a space.
As long as the battery doesn't go dead by the time she gets there.
Yeah.
Can you present it?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll also go there with that. Let's see if I can hover it and get it to play nice with me.
That's a popular tune that those quads make. Almost all of them do that same tune, don't they?
Oh, the beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
Beep. Yep. Uh-oh. Well, let me make sure we get it in frame here.
There you go.
Well, there it is.
Cool.
Far out.
It's a little wiggly. I mean, I could hear it already without hitting it too hard, and that's what I was afraid of with this frame. There is some vibrations happening, because it's not a complete solid frame like the other one that I got. So one of the problems that I'm not too happy about with this frame, and it was a $19 frame. The other frames that I had that are just like this, it's a unibody on the bottom. It's just one piece of carbon fiber, and it's a little bit thicker. So it's going to allow for better vibrations. This is a little wiggly, and I can hear it kind of vibrating a little bit because you can definitely tell that the tensile strength on it isn't as strong as the other quad, simply because of the way it's constructed, simply because these arms can be pulled out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's probably why they sold this frame for about $19.
Right.
But again, I'm going to use this as a beater and just kind of beat the crap out of it. Did you see
But
that?
it flew.
All right, let's do it again.
Hey, Nero, how you doing?
See how it starts to see all that rumbling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As it starts, and it's I'm not throttling it up or anything like that, trying to get it off of the ground. But and partly too, I put on crappy props. That I didn't put on nice new clean props, so there is going to be some vibration coming from the poor props. But
No, when she's moving, it sounds okay.
He's looking happy.
there it is.
Nice. Nice.
Yay! So
Uh,
minus the FPV with the camera on there, just because I didn't want to fiddle with it tonight. That thing's ready to fly, ready to rip.
Yeah.
very nice.
You can see it in the startup when a little bit of vibration.
Yeah, well, but too, and I think I suspect too. I don't know if you can really see some of these props. They're eaten up.
Chewed up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but they're test props.
yeah, they're test props, exactly. So if I put on a brand new set of props on that, I might not have that wiggle, that vibration happening at first. But once I did get it up into the air, and I kind of throttle blipped it a little bit in here,
Smooth out.
it felt all right. It didn't seem like it had any issues. But then again, too, I haven't taken it outside and turned the acro on and made it do flips and see how it responds and all that stuff. But that'll be a test in the daytime, in the daylight, and outside to really give it its paces.
You notice when you put it down a little rough on the bench that the arms flex a little.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can move those arms around, and that's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they move around, but you can flex
Hey,
them. And under all that strain of that motor moving so quick, it will flex them.
Hi, Butch.
Love my drone says I would have put it through the ceiling by now.
Yeah. I'll tell you, 2 years ago, I would not have done that at all. So I'm my risk management in my brain is a little off tonight, I guess, because really I shouldn't have done that in my house, but
Roadkill.
I'm not in my garage. I'm in my basement, so if I had it would have just hit my rafters.
Yeah, and you would have been running around screaming with your arms flailing.
Oh, definitely. I'll tell you, I learned my lesson good with not putting props on when you're working on it, because I was a newbie. One of my first drones, I thought I knew what I was doing. Oh, I was big shit. All right. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fiddle with this while the battery's on, while my Tyrannus is on, and while the thing is plugged in. And oh, by the way, I'm inside my house. Not good. So I flicked the switch, and it went. Zzz. Luckily, I had a hold of the battery, and I had a blanket, and I beat the crap out of the battery out because the thing took off on me. My wife was like, "Oh my God, you do that again."
Hey, Bill, Butch is in the house. Blizzard Locks, just having fun.
A 5-inch? Oh my God.
Yeah.
4S. Ooh, that'd be scary.
Yeah, they're not a toy once they got that. So.
Well, I got to tell you, Paul, I'm so thankful you did this.
It's pretty
I
cool.
don't understand all of it. I'm going to have to rewatch for a few times just to kind of get it down, what was completely happening. But guys, I'm going to have the link of everything that we got. Now, with this, with all the pieces and parts of the whoop that I'm going to post on the Let's Whoop It Up video, where Paul built the whoop. If you get it, he has the affiliate links for CNY Drones, the nonprofit, so they can maybe benefit from a little bit for that. But on this, there's no affiliate links. I'm going to link it. You just go on, buy it. It's just what it is.
Yep. So basically what I did was I created a PDF that gives you a parts list. And on each part, like the flight controller, I made it into a link so that you can just click on it, and the flight controller link will take you to Get FPV for that exact part. So I gave you a parts list, and as I said, I think this quad, as it sits, ended up to be $250. And if you're, if you want to do this build, buy those parts, and you can watch along with the video. I didn't do a great job of going through everything, but I did a good enough job where you can start to figure it out. And if you have a question, shoot shoot this, shoot a question out on this video, and I'm sure Val will see it and send it along to me or to one of the people that are in here that
I
know,
will.
what the question that you're asking, how they can answer it for you.
Yeah.
And I don't pretend to have all the answers either. I mean, I'm 3 years into this hobby, and I'm still learning a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Smart port and that stuff still kind of confounds me a little bit. I know how to do it, and I've used it, but I haven't done it enough times to say, "Hey, Val, I'll show you how to do it." But I've built, no lie, I think close to 200 drones in the last 2 years 3 years that I've been doing this, and every single drone has given me some issue along the way. Well, just with this one, why the hell didn't the VTX work when I first soldered it on? Well, I don't know. Luckily I tested it and tried it out a different way to see if the board worked. And then once I did that, I was like, all right, I'm putting it back on the right way. And why doesn't it work? And that, one of the things for me, that would fester in my head all night if I didn't get that to work. Why didn't that work? What?
Yeah.
So I'm glad it worked. But
And I think that every time I watch it built from anyone, it always does that. It's never completely smooth, at least not the things I've seen. And I think that that's the way it is. That's why it's intriguing. If you just slapped it together, nothing, and it wasn't a challenge,
You won't learn
I don't
anything.
know if it'd be as entertaining as it is when we watch you hitting your head against your.
Corey Mano says, I like the new F port.
yeah, the new F board. Yeah, F4s. This is an F. Yeah, it's an F4 in here, the CL board. Yeah, they're really good boards. They're solid. Not like the CC3Ds back in the day. Those were awful. And the Naze 32s, they were bad too. But I still use a few of them and still have a couple of quads and fly pretty well. But nowhere near to how locked in this guy.
Cool.
Hi, PD Tech. How you doing? Long time no see.
That was a good.
Lizzie Locks.
That was a great build, Paul.
And I own 3 5-inch quads and 6 whoops and 1 camera platform.
There you go. See, and that's one of the things that I don't have. I don't have a specific camera platform.
He says, Corey Mano says, no, the ERX F port for Frisky.
FRC. Oh, F port. Oh, I thought you said F board. My bad. I thought you said F board or F4 for the board. Yeah, you don't. Oh, did I show? Let me see. Did I show you guys this crazy thing? How about this quad, Kim?
What the heck is that?
You showed that. Didn't you show it last time?
I think I showed it last time. This is an X. Well, what they're calling now is an X series or an X class.
First one of those 10-inch props?
You bet. No, these are 8-inch props.
Damn.
Yep, carbon fiber 8-inch props.
Ooh.
You wouldn't want that hitting you.
Yeah.
When you gonna fly that thing?
I don't have this one set up yet. I had a Pixhawk on this, which this was all GPS enabled. And you know, this is a Terra frame, but it flies like a DJI, one of the Phantoms. So I had, you know, GPS lock, I had mission planner and all that good stuff. But cool. I'm gonna make it into an X class.
Ooh.
Wow.
So basically what that means is I'm going to turn this GPS locked in monster into a race quad.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be dangerous.
Kim, did you ever watch as a kid or still watch, do you ever watch like Dirt Track or you know, like modified car Dirt Track?
Yeah.
So that's where they're racing these things as on modified dirt track racing, race course, just going around in circles and stuff. And what's cool about it is you can see these better than the 5-inch quads. So it's a more of an engaging thing for the audience, you know, a live audience.
Yeah, that's going to be cool when you get it going.
I'm hoping so. Maybe in the summer next year. I'll get this up and running over the winter and fly it.
All right.
I
it's
think
a
we're
fun little project.
that on the next James Bond movie.
Yeah, can you imagine that thing ripping like a racer? Oh boy,
Right?
Yeah.
that'd be big gaps.
Yeah, you gotta have big gaps for that boy. Yeah, like full bridges to go under.
Yeah. Gee.
So this was a lot of fun, guys. I have a board meeting tonight. I'm sorry.
That's
So we're gonna have to slowly close this down.
Hey,
Paul,
and I'm hungry too, so
I
I'm
could tell I was hearing some rumbling. I wasn't sure what that sound was. Guys, we're gonna shut down for the night. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all coming in and watching this build with us, and giving us all the ideas on different ways to do things. Because that's what
there's
community is
just
really about.
definitely not one way to do these things. There's a couple of ways to get them done.
Yeah, and I just think it's wonderful that we all came together so we could watch this and then have those ideas. And Paducah, next time we're going to force Paul to do it so we have tunes.
I feel bad. I feel bad, but at the same time, I don't know the guy.
Oh, Paducah, you all know Paducah. He's great. He's just absolutely great. So
That was cool.
let me turn this off.
Okay,
Jeez.
Rick.
Okay, guys. I love you all.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, guys. I had fun. I'm glad it worked.
Awesome.
That was cool.
Thank you, everyone for coming in. Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 9 sharp, we have the Canadian Drone Hub. And then on Saturday at 9 sharp, Canadian Drone Hub. And then 7:30 Eastern, it is movie night. So you want to bring your popcorn, bring your soda, and let's celebrate some of the great drone flights our guys are doing, because you guys are brilliant and creative. And I can't wait to watch all the videos that we're going to see that night, right? And it'll be on the Canadian Drone Hub also. And then Sunday morning,
that link for the filling out of the videos has been working really great, right? It's been going. It seems like it's streamlining for you guys. Excellent. All right.
It's been great.
Did you have to, let me ask you a real quick question. Did you have to redo a new one, or were you using the one that I gave you?
We're using the one you gave us.
Okay.
We were thinking we might have to, because something about the link just wasn't quite doing it right. And I think we were giving Ed just palpitations because he wasn't able to get on. But then we figured it out, and then we got him all there.
Okay.
I do think we probably need to give a couple minutes between each video so we can talk about what we're seeing and why that's what they're doing to get that effect out of that flying, because some of these videos are so beyond just what we see. Is just so beautiful. I think we need to give time for the guys who are doing them to kind of explain a little. Hey, JDS is in the house. Guys, sorry, JDS, because we're getting ready to leave. But Sunday night at 7 o'clock is going to be Merch and Stone Wolf. And they're coming back for, I don't even know what to call the show. But it is upbeat, it is fast, furious, and funny. So you guys, that's going to be on my channel on Sunday night. Please don't forget movie night, though, Saturday.
Hey, how cool is it? How cool is it that we create our own freaking entertainment?
Right?
Yeah.
I know
how
we do.
cool is that?
Yeah.
It is so cool. It is so cool. And I just love it. I just love watching the stuff that these guys are putting out. And I got to tell you, I've seen you build. I know the guys in here build. You guys are so bright. I mean, it takes a lot to know all that stuff. It takes a lot. Guys, you are just wonderful. I mean, I have so much admiration. I'm going to learn how to do it. It may not be as good, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to build a whoop first, so.
Hey, everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul. You have a good dinner tonight, and thank you very much for showing us that build there. It was pretty cool.
I hope
Very
so.
cool.
And I can't wait to wreck it now.
We should video it. We want to see you wreck it.
Yeah, well,
so much.
maybe I'll have some FPV video of it smashing and blowing all the smithereens. All right, guys, I'm gonna go eat. Peace.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Love you
Thanks,
all.
Paul.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.